Hey, hey, how you doing? All right, guys, we are off to the races on part 5 of building the Lego Daily Bugle. As you can see, it's already a pretty big boy right here. All right. Doing good. Glad to hear it. Hey, Emily. How's summer treating you all? Everybody doing okay? All right. Oh yeah. Well, I'm glad you could come down. Now, I can't see your profile picture real well because it's just on the little live thing on my phone on the comments. But who am I talking to right here? Because I can't hardly see the username either, so it's hard for me to see the entire username. Oh, Serenity. Okay, good to see you, Serenity. Of course, I remember you. Of course. Hope you're doing well. All right. Get the pieces out. All right, so we are on bag number 9. And as you can see, I already went ahead and built Mysterio here. He has kind of a glittery helmet. So I went ahead and built him. He looks great. He's definitely one of the better minifigs that's in this set. So let's go ahead. Let me adjust this before we get started. My backgrounds like to come down on me. All right, let's get started. So it looks like bag number 9 is the start of a new floor of the Daily Bugle. Oh yeah, Lego's all about being creative. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And as I've said before, some of these can be very confusing about which piece is which. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep, 10 studs. Great. And we're off to the races. All right. That looks good. All right. Let's try here. Then there's these really long pieces. I also think it's fascinating to look at how different Lego sets have you constructing floors differently. There's not really any consistency in how floors are constructed between Lego sets. It appears that different designers have different ideas about how that needs to happen. So let's go ahead and just piece this together. Okay. All right, 2 panels. That on there. And this one. Good deal. And then we've got this one. All right. Like some solid footing right here. Very nice. And honestly, it doesn't seem like there's that many pieces in this bag. So maybe I've missed something somewhere, but I do not think it's going to take that long to get through bag number 9. And I do believe the total number of bags is 16, so I don't think it's going to take that long. All right. And this looks like a part of the build where there's a lot of repetition. That's fine. Like I always say, sometimes that's a good mental break from a long build like this one where you're giving so much of your concentration to that. All right, let's see. Okay. There, looks good. Whoop, dropping pieces. I've got a piece stuck here, so I'm gonna have to pry it off. Let's see. I must have got excited and messed up. Easy done. Easy done. There we go. All right, so we've got this. And these look like just little support pieces to where we're gonna put those little outside rafters on there. Okay, good there. And looks like this floor will be that kind of sand brown color. 3 and 4. There's one, and there's one. I do think it's interesting that so far they've done different colors of flooring for each level. So at least the designers had some maybe purposeful creativity with that. Because whenever I think that you're gonna do like an office building like this, there's some danger that it could get very, very, very boring very quickly. So I'm glad that they added a little bit of spontaneity, a little bit of fun. Some of the color choices, I think that's important. This is by far the most normal flooring that I've seen in this set so far. So up to this point, we've been getting primary and secondary colors. Okay. I'm doing a little bit better about not messing up on flooring patterns like I was earlier in the build. Okay. going to start putting on all my resumes from now on that I laid tile in 2021. I don't have to be specific about what kind of tile it was, just that I laid it. But apparently I also built bright red fire escapes. So it looks like these are done the exact same way the other levels were. I don't expect to see any variation in these. Why would there be, I suppose? All right. Oh, it does appear there's a little bit of variation here. Looks like this is a little different. Oh, it looks like maybe a little light fixture here. That's kind of cool. Okay. It just goes on here on the railing. Now I'm throwing pieces. That's not going to work. Okay. Looks good. Now I will say having the fire escape be like something you build up with it for each level naturally, that at least that's something that's interesting, that kind of keeps it from getting too monotonous as you go. You're switching between building the floors and then building the fire escape, so that's another feather in Lego's cap for keeping the build interesting. We have two little window pieces, actually. Oh, I see. This gray on the side is more like we're building like a part of the outside. Okay. We're going to say it's a fire truck. All right. Ladder. And as I've been saying all through the build, this is Daredevil's staff. All right. There. And this just plugs in. Same as before. And this goes off to the side. Fills in that negative space nicely. Very cool. Okay. Looks like we're building another set of elevator doors. So, strawberry water. All right. There. We get some of the 2x2 studded squares, and those make the surface, I think, for the doors to actually plug into. There we go. And the actual elevator doors themselves go right over. You know, what's funny is you go through different levels of the building, there are different elements that repeat, and the construction of the elevator doors is something that kind of repeats, and it gives, I don't know, kind of a comfort or familiarity as you go. It's not monotonous, it's just, it kind of, it gives it kind of a rhyming quality, I guess. It's a poetic build. Okay, there we go, stay. And once again, we build the little buttons on the side of the elevator from the controls there. Okay. Whistling the Falcon and Winter Soldier theme. I've been rewatching the show. Okay, looks cool. And looks like we build up the side a little bit over there. And like I said earlier, there is not much to bag number 9. Compared to, I feel like, what we have done, there's not many pieces left. So I only think we're going to be here for just a few more minutes until we move on to something bigger and better. All right, so our door. There we go. Nice kind of light blue there. Almost like a kind of a pastel. Right. There you go. So does this mean on my resume I can also put that I installed doors? Looks like we just build this up to where it's even. Okay. Looks like we're adding some of the corner pieces now on top of the elevator, just like we did before. There's one, and there's one. Okay. Couple of studs for the up and down arrows, just like we did before. Which I do like the consistency of the elevator as the building goes. filler brick. Oops. Okay. Then we're building another section of fire escape sooner than I thought we would be, actually. And rinse and repeat from earlier. I think for a joke, I'm going to start saying that all the fire escape sections, that those make up Daredevil's lair. That's what I'm going to say. Over to the side, this is where Daredevil has his base of operations. For no other reason than color. No other reason. All right, 2 more of the window pieces. These two together. Forgot to add a piece. There we go. That's better. Bingo. Four. And we connect 6 of these guys. Two, three, four, five, 6. we have just a big solid 4-brick piece that goes there, just kind of like a big giant wall filler. Okay. Then we have those green pieces. They're supposed to be like the, I think they're like the indicators in the elevator. I think. All right. Those. Hey, thank you, man. Yeah, it's coming right along. I'm surprised by how much height this thing already has once you start adding the pieces, or the levels, should I say. This is that time in a build when you just, when it just feels like it starts going faster anyway. It's that magical momentum time anytime you're doing a big build. I think it's more of just a mental thing, because you can kind of see what it's turning out to be. Oh yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I was so amused that happened after the whole copyright strike fiasco. It just seemed hilarious to me. And then they tried to cover it up, and good times. Funny how it all comes back around. And you know, every company has a leak of some sort. Seems like that's what I cover. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I couldn't help but feel that the karma was flowing in my general direction, and in Mattel's direction. It's always wise for companies like Mattel to never forget that it's their fans who make them what they are, and who give them their success or their eventual failure. Then again, they are struggling, so I don't know how well they've learned any of these lessons. Of course, yeah, exactly. We're the ones. Which, it's funny to think that Mattel used to occupy a much higher rank than the Lego group did in terms of sales. And funny how the tides turned there. Lego is a much bigger company than Mattel is now. Matter of fact, I remember a few years ago when there was kind of some talk that Hasbro was going to absorb Mattel. And then there was talk that Disney wanted to buy Hasbro. No, I don't either. And you know, I think that when people leak things about Lego, I think that it's more understood that there's consequences for some of that, because those pictures will actually have watermarks and warnings on them, things of that nature, that make it very clear that you legally should not distribute those images. But imagine my surprise when I was just sharing an image that some guy who had apparently he'd found those new He-Man figures a little early. I didn't even know that was possible. That that could be a problem. Like if somebody found something early, like in a store or wherever, probably overseas, if I had to guess, because that seems to be where a lot of stuff will come out before it's out over here. I didn't have a clue that that was something that was ever seen as a problem. But I definitely have learned that I guess I should not give as much coverage. I mean, YouTube and the fan community are free promotion for companies like Mattel. I mean, that's what we are. We're, especially if you're like me and you don't receive any review sample from anybody. Yeah. No, I don't. And in a way, I'm glad that I don't receive anything from anybody, because I know that a lot of these guys, they do their very best to stay objective, and I'm sure that they really are trying, but it would be awfully hard to be objective if you were given the product for free when you're delivering a verdict or trying to be honest about your experience. Not saying that I would spit in the face of the kindness of a company, I guess, but I don't know. I don't know if you could remain objective or not. Have any of you all watched Falcon and Winter Soldier yet? Are you all caught up on your MCU viewing? I guess that's what we call it, MCU viewing. Peter Parker. Yeah, me too. As a matter of fact, I decided to rewatch it yesterday and today because I felt like it had the quality of, like, hey, if I watch this pretty well, one right after the other instead of weekly, maybe it would feel like a big movie, and sure enough, it did. Felt like a gigantic film, and I thought it was great. I got such a kick out of Sam as Captain America. I thought he was fantastic. And I especially liked his ending speech where he tells all those bureaucrats off. All 3 Thors in the last 2 Avengers. Wow. Man, that's great. I always had a real soft spot for the first Thor movie. And I know a lot of folks didn't like it at the time. Or, well, a lot of people did. I always had a real big soft spot for that first movie. Love Kenneth Branagh, who directed that film. Yeah, the ending speech, man, where he tells off all those big jerks. I loved it. I told Brandon, the other guy on the channel, sometimes I told him the other day that I think that I have some kind of fascination with characters telling, like, preaching to the audience sometimes. And it sounds funny. I don't know. I guess if I believe in what's being said, then it's entertaining to me to hear something like that being preached, or a message that I believe in. So I like all the subtext of that message that he's delivering too at the end. I think it doesn't take a whole lot of digging to look, and see what's really being said there. I'm interested with Loki. It's interesting you should mention that because it comes out this week, right, guys? It's I think it is. Oh. Don't think I'd ever noticed that. That is crazy, man. I'm sure that's very possible with everything going on in that scene. I'm actually shocked there's not even more big errors. Yeah, Friday. Yeah. Well, I will say that I was kind of looking forward to Loki least And I know that this is the hype machine that they want us to just buy into, but it always works with me. They always get me when they start releasing some early reactions. And you can never tell if you can really go by any of those early reactions or not, because some of those are just cherry-picked, you know, friendly critics, and they're like, oh yeah, since you liked it, you're allowed to say what you thought, or don't say this, only positive reactions. Like, I don't like any of that. But unfortunately, that's the Disney way when it comes to, and it's, well, it's every major studio's way, not just Disney. But those early reactions to Loki are saying it's really, really, really special. Now, who knows, right? Could all be bull. The 9th. Okay, so that's on, like, what, Wednesday or something? Can't keep up with my days. I think it's Wednesday. Maybe. I think the setup for the Loki series is a really fun concept, but we'll just have to see. You know, in a way, I feel like the Marvel movies are a lot more uniform, and they feel a lot more safe in a way, whether for better or worse. There's kind of a real strong producer's hand. But with the TV shows so far, I do feel like they have very individual voices, and they feel very different from each other so far with these first two. So I'm hoping that's something we see continue. Yeah, the concept appears to be that after Loki got away in Endgame using the Time Stone, that he is considered by the Time Authority, the people who govern the multiverse and time in the Marvel Universe, who's led by Owen Wilson, hilariously enough, in this show, that they consider him a variant. So in other words, he's something that's unnatural to the timeline because he is an alternate version of Loki that somehow removed himself from the timeline using the Infinity Stone. So he exists outside of space-time. He is a problem, and it could rip reality apart. And so I think the idea is that they have him like going on missions for them and fixing things about time that he disrupted, maybe. But your all's guess is as good as mine. That's just what I pieced together from the general vibe or the general premise so far in trailers from the show. But I mean, it seems like a really fun concept to me. I'm game. If it's bad, it's bad, you know, but I almost feel like there's a, yeah, Quantum Leap kind of vibe for sure. I do feel like that there's a quality to that that sounds fun. And it's the kind of thing that if you play it right, it shouldn't get stale too terribly quickly, because, I mean, you should be able to do something fresh and unique with every one. I mean, you would hope when you have a palette that's that wide and that varied with all the time travel and alternate realities. Yeah, Tom Hiddleston. I feel like that he could take something that might be boring script-wise, and he could make it exciting. He could make it interesting. He's like Laurence Olivier, who once said that you just simply have to say the words to act. I feel like that he is incredibly talented. Wow. So this is a Copier Scanner, I do believe. And in terms of minifig scaled, like micro builds, this is cool, because look at this. Just like a copier or scanner, you have the little sheet you can put in there and then put it down, and you make your scan. It shoots out. Man, that's cool. Here's a little keypad. That is terrific. That's terrific. Love it. I swear sometimes I think that's my favorite part. These massive builds, is seeing these funny little, you know, like approximations that the Lego group does. It's just crazy. Just little pieces of art. And there was cool stuff like that in the Ghostbusters Firehouse too. You know, like little things you'd come upon. You'd be like, oh, you know, that's fascinating. You know, I think there's a ton of stuff like that in Ninjago City Gardens too. Makes it very, very tempting. Yep, the pool table, exactly. Was there seemed like there might have been an arcade cabinet in the Ghostbusters Firehouse, and I'm just trying to remember if that's right or not. The conspirator. It's a UFO, and it appears they're abducting a horse or a mule there. So this is not the Daily Bugle. This must be them like keeping some other like lower quality newspapers around, maybe like some really low tier tabloids. Okay, that's pretty funny. And they have it. It's a fire hazard. Cow. Yeah. That would make more sense, wouldn't it? That would go more with the UFO, classic UFO tropes. All right. Guess I goofed up. When you start doing different shades of tan, these things are bound to happen. This is the lid to the box, and this one goes here. There we go. Now it makes sense. All right. Now we have a lid for our box. Add another. And two 1x2 tiles. There we go. This must be the copy room of the Daily Bugle. Things do not look neat and orderly. Okay. Got some cabinets here. And little Lego drawers. There we go. Yes, I noticed that with the two flaps. It's ingenious. And it's amazing, like, how efficient they are with doing that. Like, for me, I think my first instinct, just from a design perspective, would be to over-design everything or make it busy. But for them, it's like, oh, you put two tiles on there, you know, it looks, that's enough of an indication. And they are absolutely correct. Of course, I feel like this is kind of a sweet spot era for Lego where it feels like everything is just complex enough and yet just simple enough. It's the golden age. Then their little camera piece that they use. It looks like they're going to add a lens to it. And that is very effective. It's just literally 2 little pieces and boom. We have it going up here on the little indentation. Kind of looks like the camera that Nicholas Hammond used in the 70s Spider-Man live-action show. Giant thing. Then we have our pizza box. Some people have said maybe this is a reference to Peter's part-time job in Spider-Man 2. I mean, maybe. It could be, I guess. Or maybe it's just a reference to, you know, pizza. You too, man. Take care. Thanks for stopping in. All right, got our pizza box. Looking good. Right there. This almost looks like 2 different sections here. There we go. Took a little bit of lining up. All right. Yep, sure enough, we are building a wall. So everything else before this has been open floor plan, but this appears to be its own thing. You've got different sections, like an office that's sectioned off. Oops. Almost missed that. So this looks like it's really minute, little details here. Oh, I see. It's like a board, like a cork board or something that they have Post-it notes on. I see. Wow. That's some really cool, minuscule detail. Okay. And here's our Post-it notes. Or I think that's what it's supposed to be. That's what it appears to be to me. So that's what we're going with. Okay, yeah, looks good. All right, so that wall goes there. And I have this too far out, I think. Picture fell over. I keep goofing up on how they want me to do this. Because there doesn't seem to be enough room for this stack of papers back here. All right. Frustration. There. That should work. I think that's what they wanted. Okay. Okay, we're adding another door frame. Good. There. Oh, here we're getting to make the famous meme wall from the 60s Spider-Man show. And so if you're not familiar with it, in the meme, Spider-Man is sitting at a desk and he is sitting in front of a picture of himself. I don't know why it's so funny, it just is. But the Lego designers have decided to capture that. Just wish Ralph Bakshi could have seen it, but then again, who knows? Maybe all the memes would have broken his heart. If you're not familiar with Ralph Bakshi, he's a very, very, very famous animator. And he had a lot to do with the 60s Spider-Man show that the meme is from. He probably would have thought it was funny. I'm going to say that and make me feel better. Really liking the brick pattern here. Really nice. All right, this looks like where we put our meme picture of Spider-Man. Looks like we build one more row of brick. Got our frame. Now all we have to do is add the sticker. Yay for stickers. We're gonna go to the big sticker sheet, and this is where we'll find that Spider-Man sticker. Okay. Now, let's see if I can get this right. You just never know. At least it's little. That helps slightly. Not quite. Try again. I should have known I'd have to do that off camera. Don't know why I even tried not doing it that way. All right, got him on there. Looks pretty good, fairly decent. Now I will say that I think my sticker was cut a little strangely because it's off center. Like you can see where it's not really centered at all. So I guess that's just kind of a problem with the way Lego cut the sticker. It's not too big of a deal for me. It is slightly irritating though, because I always do see people online talking about this being more of an issue. It never was too much of an issue for me. This is one of the first times I've seen it be sort of an issue, so a little strange. All right. I can already envision Spider-Man at the desk, but you know, keep in mind we don't have Spider-Man yet. He has not been built, and I actually do not. Well, I have an old Spider-Man minifig from years ago, but I do not have one of the new styled ones. So, J. Jonah Jameson wants pictures of Spider-Man. I just want Spider-Man in any form. There's the chair, so you can reenact the meme. This entire room dedicated to a meme. That is the magic of Lego Design Team. By golly, they want the meme, we'll give it to them. Looks like the supports for the desk. Cool, cool. All right. Right. I think I might have done this live stream a little too late. think everybody's going to bed. It's a quiet, quiet Sunday night building the Daily Bugle. My only hope for not talking to myself while I build this thing is for maybe some Lego Insomniac to start watching. There we go. And it's a simple matter of putting a little texture. Just the top. Just to the side. Over here. Okay, looks good. Moving on. Oh, okay. Just like in the meme, we're gonna build a little telephone. Old school, of course. And if nothing, Lego has plenty of old school telephone pieces. There we go. Hello, welcome, welcome. All right. Come on, phone. There we go. Maybe Lego just needs to do a series of buildable memes. Maybe that's what the people want. By golly. That could be $1 million idea, actually. Brick-built meme sets. I mean, seriously. People would probably buy them. Waiting for Lego to release the official set of 2020. They could do one of two things. They could either do a dumpster fire, a dumpster that is literally on fire, or, and hear me out, Emmett from the Lego movie, and they could have all sorts of, representations of all the bad things about 2020. And they could call the set "Everything is Not Awesome." Everything's not cool, even though I was part of a team. All right. And this is where we'll insert some glass panels. I'm glad that the outside of the building is getting a little bit of variation, doing some little interesting flourishes like smaller, more vertical windows, just to keep things interesting. I almost knocked over my camera. Good times, good times. Okay, got our windows in. There, bingo. Okay, looks good. Okay. Oh yeah, that's quite a divide there. Yeah, this is looking good. I'm liking it. And the one thing that is getting a little monotonous about this build is assembling the giant, as I call them, suction cup support pieces. This is the part that's getting a little, I mean, everything else is staying incredibly varied. But after this build, if I don't have to assemble a bunch of these anymore, I won't be heartbroken because there is a lot of these in the set and a ton more of these to go, which, you know, it's understandable. These are what's keeping the set. The outside supports, it's what's keeping them together. Still, if you didn't do this, you wouldn't have any of the uniformity that a real skyscraper would have on its supports. 2, 3, 4, 5. So I think it's pretty understandable. All right, so good on that one. And that goes in the corner. And then a slightly easier variation of those where all the little connector studs are pointing the same way. We do 3 of these. Please look over the fact that I just tried to shove 2 studs together. It's not gonna work. See, they've driven me crazy. All right, there's one. And here's our second one. Okay, there's your second. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right. So now it's time to start assembling windows like a madman. And for this, I'll turn it to the outside portion because this will be what gets most of the attention. And we're going to be making a lot of these. I'm going to be doing 8 of them. Four and 5. 5. 4 and 5. Then we just have to put these little bracers on the tops and bottoms of each one, and then they'll be ready to be installed. All right. That was a lot of windows. Let's put them in. Trying to put those in backwards. Good thing these aren't made out of glass. I would have shattered them all. Here's a real challenge for you. New Lego set. All trans elements are just glass. It's a new level of authenticity. This goes this way. Okay. All right, and with some slightly shorter windows. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's have a topper and a base. And rinse and repeat. This should be it for the window pieces, if I can assemble it correctly. Three and 4. And topper. Okay. So these go on the sides, fill in that gap. Okay. All right, and we're putting together some transparent pieces. So 2 1x1 studs, and a flat trans tile on top of it. That's going to plug up into this. Whatever it is, I'm sure it'll be absolutely brilliant. I had my aha moment when I realized what tiny object this is supposed to be. I still don't know. Oh, okay. These are just variations in glass, I guess. This will go right up here. I'm not entirely aware of why we're doing that instead of a regular glass piece. I guess that'll become clearer to me as we go. So I do sort of the same thing again. the other side. It might be where there has to be something that hooks up. Maybe that's why. Okay. Once again, do this. Okay. And this. And that goes on this side. Once again, I'll be curious to see what the justification is for doing that differently. Why it's not just a solid window piece. Okay, almost done with this bag. Last couple pages. Okay, that gets that together. Then the other side needs the same. Some symmetry there. Okay. And these fronts need this. Ooh, about flexed my windows out. Okay. All right, pretty solid. Then just a couple of filler bricks. There's one. There's one. Okay, everything looks nice and solid. We'll have Peter here at his office. We're gonna say this is all his. Just gonna let him. Oops. Come on, Pete. Be good. Let him have a seat in his new digs here. All right. So, looks like the next bags have the green goblin in it and finishes up that level. Of course, we're getting fairly close. We only have 6 more steps to go. So not long now. I think I will cheat just a little and go ahead and put a couple of details. That's in the next step. There is a spider web that goes. Let me see. Nope. Don't have it out. Thought maybe it was in the other bag. Not yet. is. We're going to go ahead and put that web in. And it just goes, clips in right over here. Very cool. And there's also a spider. If I can locate it. There it is. And I think, yeah, just goes in this little stud right here. There we go. So at least that completes the interior detail. And the other thing I wanted to go ahead and do before I sign out is build the Green Goblin. Because why not? Now the Green Goblin's purse, very important. I think Green Goblin and Catwoman are part of a very unique club of villains. And even Catwoman doesn't do this anymore, but used to, the older design of Catwoman had a purse. So Green Goblin and Catwoman. That's it. And Bobby Hill. Bobby's not a villain. That's my purse. That's the sound of the Green Goblin's head bouncing away. Sorry. There we go. Gotta have the purse on. We're going to give him the I'm having a good time expression. Liking all the chainmail looking armor on Green Goblin. And we are going to give him his hat. Looks like he's ready to terrorize Spider-Man and then go trick-or-treating. There we go. You know what's funny? How much he reminds me of some of the Lord of the Rings and Hobbit, like Goblin minifigs. So I guess that's no accident. I mean, they are goblins after all, so makes sense. All right. I'm going to let him hang out with some of the other bad guys and good guys. All right, well, that's what we got done this time. And of course, I'll be back with, I suppose the next one will be part 6 of this build. I think if I do a couple more bags, then there should be about 3 more parts and we'll be done. So I thank everyone for watching. Thanks for all the folks who participated and who chatted me up. So thanks a lot. Everybody have a great night.